Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, it's been on the must-have list for a while. See what Osseo officials are considering for a new police station. Then hard work and results at a Brooklyn Park school.
Celebrate, be excited about what we've done.
See what they did to get off a state watch list. But first, how faster DNA testing is helping solve crimes. 12 News Weekend starts right now.
Making a DNA match has become vital in solving many crimes. The trouble is, it doesn't always happen immediately like on TV.
But the speed is picking up. Forensic scientists at the Hennepin County Crime Lab are now able to process DNA from a crime scene twice as fast. More staff improvements to technology have cut DNA processing times down from 96 days 3 years ago to an average of 43 days now. As Alexander Renslow reports, that's helping law enforcement crack down on crime.
When a Brooklyn Park triple homicide took the lives of an in-house daycare provider and her elderly parents last year, it was crime scene investigators from Hennepin County who collected evidence for DNA testing.
DNA 10, 15 years ago was kind of a new phenomenon. Today it is a mainstay of any trial that you see happening in the courts.
At the county's crime lab,
we actually test 16 different areas of DNA.
Forensic scientists like Michelle Leonard test DNA for around 1,400 violent and property crime cases a year.
Cigarette butts, smudges from windows, screwdrivers, tools, anything like that we can get a DNA profile from.
Our DNA processing time has been cut essentially in half.
Federal and county funding has doubled the staff at the crime lab and improved technology over the past 6 years, allowing scientists to process DNA more quickly.
In the last 7 years, violent crime in this county has gone down 38% collectively.
Sheriff Rich Stanek attributes that drop in crime in part to the crime lab's ability to process DNA from property crimes.
We'll take DNA swabs from those lower level crimes, hoping and anticipating then that we can stop and make arrests at a lower level so they don't go on to become violent offenders.
This would be considered a full DNA profile.
DNA evidence doesn't guarantee a conviction, but the speed in which scientists are able to accurately process a sample is giving law enforcement a better chance.
2 or 3 or 5 years from now, advances in forensic science, leveraging technology to our advantage, will allow us to be able to solve that crime, bring closure to the family.
While the crime lab is able to process DNA faster, they also handle about 5 times as many cases as they did in 2006.
This week, people started researching their own health care plans as part of the Affordable Care Act. Social service agencies like SEEP plan to help people look through health care options through the state exchange MNsure. On Tuesday, state exchanges went online across the country as part of the Affordable Care Act. Workers called navigators will be at SEEP 2 days a week to help local families sign up, many of whom have no health insurance.
Well, SEEP and our partners in the building, Hennepin County, are going to be very active in working with families and individuals signing up for MNsure.
The launch hasn't been without a few hiccups due to high traffic. MNsure has been slow and sometimes not fully operational. Well, meanwhile, people have until March 31st to sign up. MNsure officials expect most people to start enrolling in the health care plans in November. The federal government shutdown is doing no favors for the reputation of Congress.
One poll shows Congress approval rating is at an all-time low of just 10%. We went to the Government Service Center in Brooklyn Center to find some opinions.
You know, the whole thing is ridiculous. They're acting like, as far as I'm concerned, they're just acting like, you know, spoiled brats. I want my way and that's it.
It does send a message, and I think the message it sends is that group loyalty is more important than common everyday people.
It affects everybody, and then what gets me so upset is that they have the nerve to still take a paycheck when they're not working.
It definitely sends a message that people are not working together, but they want us to work together in our different perspective parts of life.
The last federal government shutdown lasted 21 days from December 15th of 1995 to January 6th of 1996.
In our weekend review, if you're planning to apply for a passport starting November 1st, you will no longer be able to fill out an application at the Hennepin County Service Centers. The county service centers are getting out of the business of passport applications after October 31st. It's an efficiency and cost savings issue and has nothing to do with the federal government shutdown. Federal security restrictions are so tight for passport applications, it's interfering with the service center's ability to handle core services like driver's licenses and motor vehicle registration. Well, Osseo officials are taking a close look at the options for building a new police station. Council members toured two sites, the old Osseo Pharmacy building that's up for sale and a nearby office building that houses an engineering company. They're also looking at building a completely new station that would cost an estimated $1.4 million. The cost of renovating the pharmacy building is estimated at just under $800,000. The council may make a decision on which way to go in the next month. Well, work is underway on one big apartment complex in Golden Valley, and officials are considering a proposal for another one. It's been a busy time for apartment construction in Golden Valley along the I-394 corridor. Construction is underway next to the Colonnade office tower on a 6-story, 173-unit apartment project called the Arcata. A new proposal called the Xenia is nearby. It's a 5-story, 372-unit apartment project that would take over a vacant field. If approved, construction on the Xenia apartments could begin this spring.
As baby boomers retire, experts say it could lead to a labor shortage. But advocates for people with disabilities say they have plenty of capable employees. We talked with one young man who landed his dream job in Plymouth.
Starting around 11:30 as people start coming in.
When a restaurant opens up, it's often the calm before the storm.
Our lunch rush is busy.
The lights are on, the food is prepped.
Lucky 13.
Employees are just waiting for the lunchtime rush.
Welcome to Lucky 13. Thanks.
Then, suddenly, it hits.
Welcome to Lucky 13. Welcome to Lucky's. Welcome to Lucky 13.
It gets really crazy in here, and so having that extra person, like I said, being bubbly and greeting everybody that comes in, it's wonderful.
Welcome to Lucky's.
That person is 20-year-old Tim Strong.
Welcome.
Tim was coming into Lucky's every Wednesday night to play bingo.
Thanks.
And eating a juicy Lulu, which is his favorite meal.
Juicy Lulu.
Tim loved his favorite restaurant so much.
Welcome to Lucky 13.
And his dream was to be able to work here.
Thanks.
And so we hired him.
Now he's the first person you see when you walk in the door at lunch.
It's important thing to open doors and give my good smile to other customers to welcome.
Employees say it's good that during a busy lunchtime rush, customers can be greeted right away by Tim's smiling face.
He's always an up guy.
Welcome to Lucky's.
Without meaning to, Tim has been an advocate for hiring people with disabilities.
It's brought awareness to my staff, to the customers that are coming in, that just because someone has a disability does not mean that they can't or not capable of working.
And whether basking in the glow of his first paycheck,
He's real fun, he dances up here.
or grooving to the beat in his downtime,
He makes everyone laugh, that's for darn sure.
Tim has shown he's the right one for the job.
Welcome to Lucky 13.
Tim works 3 days a week in his job, and those who work with the disabled say only about 20% are employed. And Delane, I think you can tell in that story, he really loves his job, loves working there.
He's dancing, he's showing off his paycheck in that photo.
And he can almost tell you the whole menu. He does a pretty good job.
That's great, good for him.
Coming up on 12 News Weekend, how a Brooklyn Park school got off the state watch list.
And later in sports, Maple Grove boys soccer team enters the playoffs playing its best. We'll have their story.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast where rain is likely for the weekend. Welcome back. What was once considered a failing school is finally making the grade.
Yeah, this week, the State Department of Education announced Northview IB World School was among 27 schools no longer considered in trouble. As Renee Bonneau explains, their success did not happen overnight.
Less than a minute, folks. Let's go.
Northview Principal John Gronke says this isn't the same school he walked into when he started here 4 years ago. He was hired here to turn it around.
What we just needed to really build trust together and really have a plan, a very clearly articulated plan to increase the rigor in our classrooms, ensure student learning.
Northview had just been ranked a priority school by the State Department of Education, meaning it received a failing grade in areas such as student achievement and the achievement gap.
I think, my opinion, that the culture of the school really was not achievement focused. And so that would include, how classes are run, how behavior is in the halls, expectations for attendance, all of those things.
Using state guidelines, District 279 created an improvement plan tailor-made for Northview. It shifted personnel to address special needs and implemented programs like 9th Hour, where students behind in homework are required to go after school. Gronke says the staff is doing a better job working together to help the students succeed.
We're listening more to one another. We just that whole sense of trust and a plan really has sent us in a place where it makes us where we are today.
It's much more orderly. Kids understand what's expected of them, and we've made some real progress.
Good.
Not only is Northview no longer a priority school, it is now eligible to be a celebration school, a model for other schools to follow. But Gronke says there's always room for improvement.
Celebrate, be excited about what we've done, and we have to do that, but we still have to keep moving forward.
Renee Bonneau reporting. The community is responding to the changes. John Gronke says when Northview received priority status, it lost about 100 students. Since then, enrollment has increased for the last 3 years. Brooklyn Center Secondary also came off the troubled schools list. Well, still ahead, when you're on the road, can you still recycle? We'll take a look at some of the changes that are coming.
Then Wayzata's cross-country teams are dominating this season. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
Welcome back. Jay Wilcox joins us now with sports. Feels like the school year just started, but some teams are already ending their seasons. What's going on with that?
Yeah, the outdoor stuff, you just don't know what the weather's going to bring in October, so you get those games in when you can. We're to the end of the regular season for local soccer teams. The Maple Grove boys have put together a strong second half of the season. Maple Grove won 9 of its past 10 games, with the only loss coming against top-ranked Blaine. Overall, Maple Grove is 11-3-1. It's a young group that's come together in a hurry.
I'm really excited. The team's been doing well. I think we can get a couple more results if we keep playing the way we are. Team's really starting to mold together, build the chemistry, so it's looking good.
A little bit surprised, but we're very encouraged. We have a young team, a lot of guys who had not had the experience on the big varsity field, but they're doing well. Early on in the year, we made a few mistakes. They've learned from it.
Yeah, a little left to right. Maple Grove lost in the quarterfinals in section play last fall, but won the Section 5 AA title the year before, and they're usually in the mix at playoff time. The addition of Prairie Seeds to their section will be interesting. The Crimson just hope to get a high seed and go from there.
There's a lot of good teams this year, and so I mean we've battled to get as high of a seed as we can. I think that we've done well. So I mean it'll just how the cards play out. I'm not exactly sure, but we're hoping to get as high as we can get.
Section play starts Tuesday in Section 5 AA. Cooper's boys finished up conference play this week in the North Suburban. The Hawks boys hosting Fridley in a league match. First half, Evandale's cross is headed in by James Millerin. It's 1-0 in favor of Cooper. Second half, Varney Cole-Soire floats the ball in. Sam Boku pops it in for a 2-0 Hawks lead, and he's pretty excited about that as he makes a little slide. And that is the final score as Cooper goes on to get the win. The Hawks girls also won, beating Fridley 4-0. As we head toward the big meets of the cross-country season, Wayzata's girls and boys have shown that they are going to be tough to beat. The Trojans, girls and boys, each won the gold division title at the Roy Griak Invitational at the University of Minnesota's Les Bolstead Golf Course against top-level competition. The Trojans girls took 6 of the top 20 spots, breaking records along the way, and becoming the first Minnesota girls team to win the gold title since out-of-state powers started competing at the GRIAC.
We're getting into the championship season. We're focusing now on conference and sections and state. The GRIAC was a great way to start a championship season. Getting 7 girls in the top 23, phenomenal. We're the first Minnesota team ever to win the GRIAC, so it's good to bring that Minnesota pride back into it. I was very happy for my teammates and I.
We were hoping that we could possibly win, and we weren't sure if we would or not, and then we ended up racing it, and we all somehow felt good that day and did way better than we thought we could.
The boys team was also pretty dominant at the GRIAC, winning for the 3rd time in the event's history. Like the girls team, Wayzata's guys are also ranked #1 in Class AA. They hope the GRIAC leads to big things at conference, section, and state.
Yeah, we're excited to finally get going and get closer and closer to state and get really prime and fresh and fast for that race.
And of course we won a state championship because last year we got so close just to have it end on 3rd place. So we're very pleased on how we're doing so far.
The Lake Conference meet is this coming Thursday, October 10th at Gale Woods. Now to volleyball in the Northwest Suburban. Maple Grove hosted Armstrong. First set, Armstrong serves 6 aces, including this one from Abby Fireeisen. The Falcons jump on the Crimson with a 25-15 win. The second set, Armstrong now on the right. The set goes to Kelsey Sather for the kill, and Armstrong takes this one 25-22. Maple Grove rallies, though, in the third. Kayla Crane pounds home the kill as the Crimson take it 25-20 to force a 4th set. But it's Armstrong's night. The set goes to Indigo Thompson for the kill as Armstrong wins 25-23. They beat Maple Grove in 4 sets. So really a lot of good volleyball teams in the area this fall, and Armstrong's definitely made an improvement this year.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Thanks, Jay. You could say a local recycling group is going where recycling hasn't been before.
They are exploring the final frontier of recycling. We'll tell you what that is when we come back.
For those that are experiencing food hardship, it's really important that we get fresh and nutritious food into the system.
Well, it is the season to harvest sweet corn, but getting fresh produce like this onto the tables of people who need it is no easy task. A $1 million grant from Cargill is paying for a corn rescue. Volunteers will use refrigerated trucks to transport surplus corn to food banks in Minnesota where people can pick it up. Around 1 million pounds of surplus corn will be distributed in this pilot program. If it works well, the program could expand to help food banks in the upper Midwest next year. Well, experts are exploring what they call the last frontier of recycling.
2 organizations are working to develop easier ways to recycle trash when you are away from home and you're on the go. One way is by putting recycling containers at convenience stores and gas stations. A program called Message in a Bottle plans to expand to gas stations in Brooklyn Park and now Brooklyn Center. So when you're filling up with gas, you can clean out your car and recycle those water bottles and soda cans.
My pie in the sky dream would be to have every convenience store, with a free recycling service like Message in a Bottle. The goal for 2014 is to reach 150 convenience stores with Message in a Bottle service in the Twin City metro area.
The Recycling Association of Minnesota also says this program creates green jobs. Much of the sorting and recycling jobs generated from this program go to adults with disabilities. And I think there is another reason why this is a good program. It encourages you to clean out your car.
Yeah, I was just going to say that same thing. No more excuses, people.
That's right. Fill it up with gas. Get that stuff out of there. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a nice weekend. We'll see you on Monday at 4 o'clock.